Folks, we're back. Wade, Sensei, the breakdown.
Oos.
This video today, I wanted to talk about something pretty specific and something that's just fresh on my mind right now. We're recording this after Thursday Night Football. Now, this is not going to apply to a lot of just football, so YouTube boxing fans, stay around because this is important. But today I want to talk about, for just a little bit, head trauma and the dangers of combat sports, and why I'm bringing football into this is because if you guys watch football, tonight you saw quite possibly one of the worst examples of how to handle head injuries. Sensei, I'm sure you saw this. Tua Tagovailoa, starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. My UK people, stay with me. I'll get to the point. Just had 2 concussions in a matter of 5 days. Now, there was an excuse laid out from the Miami Dolphins, the NFL organization, millions and billions of dollars worth of money funneled into that organization, produced by that organization. They said that he had a back injury, and that's why he was stumbling around last week like he couldn't stand up after being thrown to the ground on his head.
Bro, made no sense whatsoever.
None.
Like, everybody knew that wasn't true. Everybody.
We all knew it, and I don't talk about football a lot here, but it bothers me because I think it's a thing we gloss over in YouTube boxing too, and that is the importance, the severity of head injuries. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I wanted to tell you guys and relay it to YouTube boxing. Tua Tagovailoa tonight got dropped on his head again, and it was bad to the point where he was tensed up. His hands were doing weird stuff. Like, it was bad. He couldn't move. He was on the ground for 25 minutes or so, and they had to, unfortunately, stretcher him out. They said, by the way, that he had all the faculties of him, and all his stuff is working, from what I understand, and he's conscious now. But this is what's called second impact syndrome, and this is what bothers me so much, and this is probably the last time I'll talk about this, but for everybody that said that Alex Wasabi faked a concussion, and this is where I'm going to relay this in YouTube boxing.
Yeah.
Alex did not fake his concussion, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because Alex specifically was told by his doctor in the video that we saw with Christian HD, shout out Christian, that they were worried about second impact syndrome. Tonight you saw the exact reason for that worry. So if we're still sitting around here and we're making fun of guys for getting concussions, or we're not believing guys that get not believing people that are diagnosed with concussions, all for YouTube boxing, do you guys not understand how serious this is? Because we're going to see
the brain thing is different.
Yeah. And this is what we talked about. Remember, as we were leading up, we're like, this is stuff you don't want to mess with. And tonight just reminded me of that. Our sport, YouTube boxing, is so fun, and it creates so many new stars, and we have so much opportunity to grow into. I mean, it's grown my channel. It's made me to what I am. It's made FaZe Sensei this massive amount of loyal people in his community as well, and it's given everybody opportunities. But we need to realize how dangerous this is. And this is just a message to all fighters, to all fans, that regardless of what you think about what we do, if you think it's play boxing, if you think it's goofy and it takes down the sport of boxing, it doesn't. But we need to take it seriously, because stuff like tonight with Tua Tagovailoa in football, it just scared me. And I want people to take it seriously, because I don't want to see us throwing guys in a month after they've been knocked out, 2-3 months after they've been knocked out, without the proper protocols, or they've been concussed or whatever. So fighters, if you've had a concussion recently, I'm looking at FaZe temper, honestly, because I don't know, Tommy, I care about Tommy. I think he's a great guy. I don't want to see him jump back in too quickly. I'm looking at guys like Andy Worski, obviously Alex, whatever happened to him in sparring. Take care of yourselves. This sport is not your main thing, and if it is, you'll realize this is serious. I understand you want to do it. I understand there's big cards coming up, but just take your time. Sensei, you go.
Yeah, man. I even, because I've been playing football, I just finished playing over the weekend. I had to be super selective and smart about my sparring because I still had games every Saturday. And obviously, you think, I'm playing quarterback, so I'm dealing with the least amount of impact, but here is Tua, getting taken down and hitting his head. So a lot of it is not even collision; it's collision with the ground.
Yes.
And it's insane because I was actually just talking about it today with my students. So like teaching my kids, we're doing like a little takedown, and we're teaching the kids how to break fall.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even let the kids do any contact with each other until they can all adequately learn how to sit and properly break fall without allowing the back of their head even touching the mat.
And that's the
like
thing
we spent like 2 weeks on it. We like super critical on it because literally falling back and hitting your head is like falling down in general is like the cause of 95% of all injuries is falling incorrectly, or like in this case being forced down and you hit your head properly and you can't properly brace. So like head trauma is crazy, right? And when of course like with Alex and things like that, Gibb, right, had to get postponed.
Gibb, yeah.
You know, like Austin's another guy, right?
Austin too, yeah, 100%.
Correct. It's different because like when you talk about injuries or like pulling out, I know it's easy to be like, oh, guy was sick, or it was like a weight cut, or like anything else besides the brain. Like
that's the last one you want to be skeptical of, is that one, right?
Yeah, because it's like when it comes to like illness or sickness, it's like when someone talks about like the C word, like cancer. Like it's like, oh, you're sick. Like no. This is nothing to play with, because like you said, second impact, or all it takes to get like this, you know. And with Tua, like literally with what happened with Tua today, I would not have been surprised if they go to the hospital and they say he's paralyzed or something more tragic. I wouldn't be surprised.
I won't be surprised if not only if this is a season-ending injury, if he never, like, God willing, he does come back and is able to play, but he might not ever again, because 2 and 5 days is ridiculous. You're talking concussion protocol stuff,
and that's what we know. We've already learned that, like, it's the repetitive trauma. Yeah, because when there's already trauma in the brain, it's so sensitive, and when it gets hit again, it's not like a bruise. Like, it gets 10 times worse,
and the recovery's longer.
Correct.
The amount of stuff you're going to have to go through, not only psychologically but physically. The entire Miami Dolphins organization needs to have a thorough investigation. I'm talking firing staff. I'm talking coaches gone, like
top bottom,
everybody.
Because it just it just happened.
A back injury. A back injury,
like, bro. That like, I'm like, everybody.
That's malpractice.
And they're saying, oh, because that's what he said. I'm like, dude,
no.
Of course, the fighter or the player is going to say,
you have to protect them from themselves.
No, I'm good. You know what I mean? Exactly. That's why they've hired it. The NFL's supposed to have these things in place.
You're not their friend. You're your doctor. You have to understand they're going to want to play, and to put him back. And again, this is the Dolphins, Miami, NFL, UK people. Just bear with me. Imagine if you're a UK like football fan, or you're from Europe or wherever. Imagine Ronaldo gets concussed in some way, right? He's concussed. He's laying on the ground. They take him off the field, and then
because he's rocked.
He can't even, like, he's trying to run and he's stumbling around. His feet aren't working, and he falls to the ground. He gets up. They put him back into the game. About 10 to 15 minutes later, he finishes that game. Takes more hits. By the way, that's what happened with Tua. He finished that game.
That's right.
Then 5 days later, they got to play again. And it happens to him again in the same exact way, and he's laying there comatose on the ground, basically. It's just,
and the fact that it was Thursday night, 5 days later too.
5 days later, that's what I'm saying. It's a terrible situation, and I know I'm talking about football here, but I want to relate it to what we're doing here in the YouTube boxing scene. Fighters, listen to me when I say concussions are real. Like, it isn't just you're getting your bell rung. I know a lot of people that are doing boxing maybe haven't participated in other sports before, but just make sure you're taking the time to get this looked at and go through all your protocols, because second impact syndrome is a real thing. If you come back too quickly, it could be life-changing. So there's my piece on it. Comment section, let us know what you think, but just take your time, guys. This is serious stuff.
How will I sit up in the nosebleeds?